I'm Aveline, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a majorly amazing, great, perfect day today. Is it overdoing it? I don't think so. Anyway, so what are we doing today? We're doing a build, as we always do, more or less. More or less always. Well, I can't recall a time we've done anything else. So, however, before we jump into the game and get this build started, I want to talk about the cutest life simulation game that I have had my eyes on for a little bit. So, thank you to Fae Farm for sponsoring today's video. There's a link in the description box and also a link in the pinned comment if you want to go check out Fae Farm. But if you've never heard of it before and you like life simulation game, farming games, where you can also fish and mine, and there's a overall a relaxing vibe to the game, then definitely stay seated because I'm gonna tell you a little bit about Fae Farm. So Fae Farm is a new game by Phoenix Labs in which you play on a farm, but it has a little twist because instead of your typical farm aesthetic, everything is very cute and fantastical. It takes place in the world of Azoria, where there is plenty to do. You can farm and fish, raise various animals, catch critters, mine, go exploring. You can also build and decorate, and the game also has a storyline, so there's always something to do. You're free to create your own character as well, which you can customize with various tools, so you can change your body type, your hairstyle, skin color, pronouns, voice, and much more. And if you don't like your character after a little bit and you want to try out a different aesthetic, you can always go back and change it, so you're not stuck in the same character. Azoria is a beautiful and fantastical place infused with magic. The environment has lots to explore, secrets to discover, and of course there are also other townspeople that you can befriend and also build relationships with. And if you get close enough, you can also get married. You are free to play Fae Farm solo, but if you're one of those people who love to play with your friends, you can actually play the game with up to 3 people. So you can go on adventures together, build a farm together, and support each other through various quests and challenges. So there's plenty of fun to be had if you and your friends like playing together. Fae Farm is currently up for pre-purchase. It'll be out on the 8th of September, and if you want to check it out, you can click on the link in the pinned comment or the one that is in the top of the description box. I'm actually planning to play it myself because I think it looks so cute. So you might be seeing a little bit of it on the channel as well. But that is all I got. So thank you so much to Fae Farm for sponsoring today's video, but most importantly, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I appreciate you all so much. And now we're gonna get started with today's build. Let's have some fun. So today we are building somewhat a farm. So I still want to do like a farm-ish, maybe on the 64 by 64. I'm not really full, well, we're gonna have to fill up that space with something, but I just really felt like doing a smaller farm. So this is like, I kind of had this idea of a couple buying a piece of land, right, in Chestnut Ridge. This is built, well, technically right now it's on a 30 by 20, but I move it to a 30 by 30. So I had an idea of a couple buying this land in Chestnut Ridge and then building this small A-frame house that is sort of rustic, but there's a couple of industrial pieces in there as well, but it's still like sleek a little bit too. So a nice little mix going on in the style. I felt like it fit with the exterior of the house though, the A-frame for some reason. Maybe it's because there's something like very sleek about an A-frame as well. I don't really know. It's very like, there's a lot of lines, like, you know what I mean. It's an A-frame. Of course there's a line. But anyway, or a couple of them, I should say. But I felt like they had purchased this land, built their A-frame house on it, and then also kind of started this like small farm situation. So I ended up having to move it to a 30 by 30 just because I didn't have enough space. I really wanted there to be room for horses as well, so I needed to move it to a lot that was bigger so that I could build a stable in, because it's technically for 2 Sims. I needed them to have 2 horses, so it had to be big enough to house 2 horses. So it turned out to be a lot bigger. Like, I really started this just thinking, let's build a tiny house, and then it turned into something just like a slight bit bigger. It's still only a 30 by 30. It's not like we're building on a 40 by 30 or anything above that. So the whole like, the stable is not super big. They have chickens as well. That little framed in area is not super big either. They also have what do you call that? A little area where they can farm vegetables and stuff. Because, like, it's not a field. They just have these, like, plots of land. Yes. These little squares of land, these little squares of dirt where they can plant stuff in. I did put some decor on them just for, well, aesthetic purposes, if you will. So you're gonna have to remove those, but just like, I think, oh, I found a ginormous aubergine, or, that's not what it's called in English. Well, it might be in Britain, but it's an eggplant in the US, I think. So I found that, and then I was like, I put it on the ground. I was like, that does not look right. I think you'll see that later on in the video, but I genuinely put it on the ground because I was like, oh, it's among like melons and pumpkins and stuff, so it must grow on the ground. I put it on the ground and just sat here and looked at it like, that does not look right. Like, no way those grow on the ground. That doesn't make any sense. So I don't think they do. So I deleted it again. But they ended up having like pumpkins and cabbage, and I think the last thing is possibly watermelons, but it might be something else. I cannot remember. No, it's not watermelons, but I don't really know what it's called in English. So I'm not going to try to come up with a word for it, but you'll see that later on. Yeah, I'll never be a farmer, but I'm okay with that. I don't think I would do good farming. Like, I don't think I'm meant for the farmer life. So it's okay that I don't know how crops grow. Okay. Actually, I know, like, I'm just kidding. Please don't think I'm stupid. Moving on. But for this house, we got room for 2 Sims, 1 or 2 Sims total. Their bedroom is on the 2nd floor. It has a double bed. There should be access from both sides. I also want to say before moving too far into this video, sometimes I make super tiny bathrooms. So when I feel like I don't have enough space in the house for like a 4 squared bathroom, I'll go for a 3, or tiles, I should call it. So there is a bathroom. I did it very, very quickly. And I just wanted to say that there is one, because sometimes when I do them this quickly, I get comments saying that I forgot the bathroom. And no, I did not forget the bathroom. It's definitely in the house. It's just not big, so you might miss it if you're not keeping an eye on the video. Also, I did a tutorial like years ago on how to do A-frame houses, and I think I also talk about attic rooms, or did I do that in another video? But you can find a video tutorial on it on my channel. I have a playlist that's called tutorials if you don't want to scroll back like several years to try and find it. I do not blame you, because same, I don't want to do that. Or you can just like Google, or not Google, YouTube search my name and tutorial. It'll pop up, I think. But just in case you're wondering on how to like split the roofing and stuff, I explain it in that video, although I will not claim to be a master teacher or anything like that. I definitely, you would not know that my dad was a history teacher. Like, it should be in my blood to teach, but I suck at it. So you've been warned, but there is a tutorial. This is the reason that I don't do a lot of them, is because I don't know how to explain things. I know 2 languages, and I've had like 4 total, and I do not know how to explain things in any of the languages. So, you know, I approach at your own, like, at your own risk, yes. But there's a tutorial though, in case you're curious. So, with the whole farm aspect in mind, I really wanted the interior of the house to have like a rustic feel to it. So I think I managed, but like sometimes I get these thoughts when I'm decorating, right? This sounds so philosophical, but that's not where I'm going with this. But I get these thoughts when I'm building, like putting together 2 pieces of furniture. In my head, it makes sense. To my eyes, it makes sense. But then all of a sudden, I'm like, but what if someone else looks at this and thinks, why did she put those 2 pieces of furniture together? Those don't fit together at all. Just like wood tones, wood colors. You know what I mean? Like matching wood tones. I don't really do that. I don't like it. I think everything's just, I don't like matchy. It's not for me personally. So sometimes when I put together 2 pieces of wooden furniture and they don't match in the same color, like these chairs with the table, I think it looks nice. But then I recall that other people have been complaining about it before, and I'm like, but maybe it doesn't make sense to other people. So the interior here, it's rustic, but like I mentioned, there's some sleekness to it as well. You can see that with the whole shelf thing over here as well, even though I wouldn't necessarily call it sleek, but modern. And then also the coffee table definitely has some sleek lines to it, but then you get like the dining table and the couches or couch and chairs that are a little bit more on the industrial side. So like there's a mix of furniture in here. I just wanted to make sure that it kind of fit with the look of the house and also the Sims that I had in mind. I feel like they're definitely, I wanted there to be like a rusticness to it, but an industrial feel to it as well, because industrial feels a little bit like newer, and I think the couple living in this house are definitely on the younger side. It's the same with the sleekness that the modern touches here and there as well that we're trying to, or that I'm trying, I don't know why I say we, that I'm trying to add to the interior. It reminds me of new, and you know, that reminds me of young people. I'm not saying you can't decorate like this if you're not technically young, whatever that means, but it's just where I'm going with the household, you know? So to me it makes sense, but I could see why it wouldn't necessarily to everyone, but it's just like sometimes you just get those thoughts, you know? Like this makes total sense to me, but from other people's eyes, it might not make any sense at all. So also, this is completely not related to this build whatsoever, but they announced that there's a new kit, or 2 new kits, coming out on Thursday. But one of them is a casket, and you guys know I don't really touch that. So also I completely forgot to decorate this desk while I was recording, so apologies for that one, but it is decorated. I think it should be decorated in the uploaded version. I'm pretty sure I saved it after I decorated it. I guess we'll see, but there is definitely a version out there with decor on that on that desk. So anyway, but they announced earlier that there's going to be 2 kits released on Thursday, I think it is. So one of them being a build kit. I'll admit, like at this point, I'm a bit slightly tired of kits. I'm not gonna lie. Like I kind of miss just, I don't want to say stuff packs either. I miss more game packs. Is that bad? Like I kind of, game packs are like a good size, a good bite, you know? So I kind of miss those a little bit, but maybe it's not been too long since we got the last one and I just can't remember because days are blurring together, you know, as it happens. But the kit that we're gonna have a look at on Thursday is I forgot what they called it. Something with luxe, I think, or something with luxury. Modern luxe, is that what it's called? I cannot remember. It's not really my style, which shouldn't come as a surprise to any of you. It's very gold and black, which is, I love black, like do not get me wrong. I'm definitely a black interior kind of gal, but I also love white walls. And I like white furniture as well, but I'm definitely a black furniture kind of gal. If you saw my apartment, well, if you saw outside of my office, actually if you saw my computer setup, you'd see I'm a black furniture kind of gal. But I don't love gold. I really dislike gold. I don't know what it is. I've just never liked gold. So we'll see. I'll do like an overview of it. I don't have any plans to do a build with it this week because I'm already kind of covered with the builds. I've been building up a little storm, or maybe not a storm, just like a small, as we would call it, sky break, where it rains a lot, like that sort of, you know, we have, or sprinkle. I've been building up a sprinkle. That just doesn't sound that good. But I got a couple builds for this week, so we're not gonna cover it in a build video this week, but I'll see if I maybe can do like an apartment or something next week so we can have some fun with it. It definitely looks like a kit that's built or made to go with vintage glamour, which is kind of weird because they call it modern luxe or so. If it's called modern luxe, like I might be wrong about that, so like, you know, but it's kind of funny if they call it modern luxe and then it goes with vintage glamour. Like, you see that the two don't really necessarily go together. But I guess we'll see once I get access. I really can't remember what the kit is called. I think it was, hold on, I got Twitter open. I can figure this out very quickly. Actually, yeah, it is called Butter and Lux. I think it's funny. I'm just laughing about it. Just want to say, like, no offense to anybody who came up with that name or anything. I just think it's funny because it definitely looks like the furniture would go with vintage glamour. So it's funny that they call it modern luxe, because modern and vintage are two very different things. But it's fine. So we'll have a look at that maybe next week for an apartment build. I don't know. I don't really do a lot of apartments these days. I just am not really drawn to them for some reason. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't, honestly, I cannot tell. I just have no, like, they don't cause butterflies when I think about them, you know, so I just don't want to spend time on them. That's simple as that. But maybe next week there'll be like a day where I'm like, oh, today I could build an apartment. Yeah, today I get the tummy butterflies from thinking about apartments. Or maybe it's just because I'm hungry. Like, I don't know. Also, just want to say, I definitely put down way too many chickens for those chicken coops. And I apologize to the chickens, but they just look so cute. It's just, the thing is, one of them fell asleep outside of the chicken coop, which I think means that there's not enough room in the chicken coops for the chicken. It might also just mean that it was tired and fell asleep. Like, I don't fully know. I don't really do gameplay, so I could be wrong about that. But I don't even know if the chickens come with the lot when you download it, to be honest, so I don't know if it makes any difference. But if it does, you might want to delete a couple of the chickens. Or if they come with the build when you download, you might want to delete some of the chickens. Apologies to the chicken, or put them up for adoption. Don't delete them, okay? Just put them up for adoption. I don't know how it works. You know, it's fine. There was a cute picture of, there's going to be a cute picture of a chicken that is sleeping, a little chick, later on in the video, because it was so adorable. But then I noticed it was sleeping outside and I started to feel bad, and now I just had to share it with you, okay? I don't know how many chickens those chicken coops can house, but I have my theories, and I could be wrong, because I literally know nothing about this game. I just build. Oh, but also, there's, wait, I already said that. Yeah, room for 2 horses, which means that I actually had to add, so I've been using myself as, wait, am I using myself in this? No, I'm not. I'm using, what's her name? It's Faye, but it's Criminal Mastermind Faye, I think. So Criminal Mastermind Faye now has 2 horses. Congratulations, Criminal Mastermind Faye. Do you guys remember Faye? I don't know if I actually, it's been a while, hasn't it? But Faye is my playtester. I have a couple of different versions of her. So I went through a phase where I felt like it was fun to do a new version of Faye whenever I had to build for a new household, so that she would kind of fit with the build. But I don't do that anymore, and now I just mainly use Criminal Mastermind Faye, because for some reason all the other Fays have ended up with children, and I don't really know how that's happened, but it's happened. So, but now Faye has no children, but she has 2 horses. So I gotta come up with a new Faye that does not have any horses, because I cannot have horses on my lots whenever I build. I think this is why for the next build I had to pick myself, because I use my sim self sometimes as well as playtester. And no children, no horses, no dogs or cats or anything, no chickens, no rabbits. There's a lot of animals in this game all of a sudden, wow. I might give myself a sheep though. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I could be tempted into giving myself a sheep, but so far she doesn't have any. However, I had this weird glitch, and it was not tied to mods, and I don't know how I solved it, but for the build, I closed it down, so I did half of it one day, and then I went back and did the other half, like, the next day, and when I opened it up, it crashed my game, or it didn't want to open the lot, but it did when I moved myself away from the lot and then tried to open it again, then it worked. So I'm like, clearly I'm bugging the game. It's not meant to be, like, I'm not supposed to use myself as a playtester. So I have to come up with new versions of Faye. I have so many versions of Faye though. Like, I have a lot. I could give you a whole list. I think actually most of them are uploaded to the gallery for some reason. I've probably been in a troll mood or something. I don't really know. It's been a while. I don't even know where I'm at in the build right now, but apparently we're decorating a little bit on the patio, front porch, whatever you want to call this area. The deck. It has a lot of, actually it could be a deck. Would you call this a deck? Like, I don't know. It could be a deck, but I don't really fully know. I think there's too many names for these like constructs that are basically for the same purpose. I get a pergola or gazebo is different. I get that. But decks, porches, and whatever the last thing I said was, they're basically the same. They're basically the same. So there's probably going to be someone out there who's like a construction worker or something who's like, Rosa, what are you talking about? Please keep quiet. And I can't stay quiet because it's my voiceover, but I hear you. I hear you. I know I'm dumb sometimes. Anyway, landscaping, we're just keeping it very simple-ish. Simple-ish, but then adding a lot of rocks, because you know rocks are nice to have in landscaping just to break up the foliage a little bit. I know I sound that sounded funny, but I actually mean that. And then keeping the rest of it like very green. I added a little bit of red as well through some daisies, and I think there's also some of these like low-lying bushes as well have some red flowers in them just because I wanted to add a little bit of color. Could have gone for yellow as well, but I was really drawn to that red. I think there's a little bit of purple too, just like a tiny hint of purple here and there, but it's not a lot. Other than that, it's mainly green and like obviously it's plants, so they're going to be green. Unless we're building on 6 a.m., then I don't really know. Purple, maybe? I don't know. But mainly green and white. And then a couple of aloes as well that are green, but like they're not bushy like the rest of the plants that I'm using. Chose, or kind of chose, to just basically not acknowledge the foliage surrounding this lot and just went with what I wanted to use. I don't think I've done that for the other builds that I've done in Chestnut Ridge, but for this one, I just wanted to do my thing. So I decided to ignore them. But I did actually look at the trees. I did add some evergreens that are probably not geographically correct to add to this world, but I added them anyway. It's The Sims. It doesn't have to make sense all the time. The rest of the trees, though, are definitely kind of spotted in the surroundings, so just wanted to add that as well. But other than that, we're getting to the end of the build, so I'm gonna wrap up this voiceover now. If you guys like it, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. And as always, the trade files can be found over on my Patreon, which will be linked to in the description box, as well as, well, no, not in the pinned comment today, because thank you to Faith Farm for sponsoring this video. I appreciate it so much. Definitely go check it out. I think we're actually going to play a little bit of it here on the channel, so I hope you guys are excited for that. But other than that, I think that is about it. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!
How I've begun to feel that I want your attention. This time it is for real. Oh baby, love me like you did last night. I wanna hold you till the morning comes. Oh baby, love me like you did. Love me like you did. Oh baby, kiss me till I see the light, like you did last night, like you did last night. Could it be that I'm lucky to have found someone who is just as crazy as me? Or is it just